obviously when I'm sitting here and watching this game, I always look for things that pop out to me. It was a very interesting game. And what I took away from this, how good are the Falcons and are the Bills' Super Bowl hopes in jeopardy? Now, let's get to the Falcons' point of view of it. The Falcons, I think, are a very good football team. They're not great. They are good because they can be a frisky team if they can just continue to play consistent football. Because they have talent all across the world on offense. I'm a huge fan of Drake London. I think he is one of the most underrated wide receivers in the NFL. I think that he has the capability to make a Pro Bowl one day. And I think he could emerge into a guy like CeeDee Lamb and Puka Nacua and all these guys. I think they can start out to a guy that you didn't think could be a number one option to someone who can eventually be your number one bona fide number one receiver. That is how high I think of Drake London. Now let's talk about this other fella. And we saw him do what he did on Monday night in Bijan Robinson. Look, and I'm here. See, I've forgotten to read the rest of my housekeeping. I didn't have my stats up and ready to go, but we're about to do it right here. So Bijan Robinson. Let's just go ahead and Bijan Robinson. He is a guy I have been sleeping on. I had to be totally honest and transparent. Bijan Robinson is an absolute dog. Like, he is phenomenal. He is a phenomenal football player. He literally reminds me of a player that you guys probably forgot, but I know I haven't. He reminds me so much of Todd Gurley. Like, his excitement and just how fast he is, elusive he is. In my age. Now, I'm young, and I told somebody, I was having a conversation with somebody the other day, and they were like, who do you think is the best running back of all time? And, I said Emmitt Smith, because that's the general consensus answer around the league. You got Bo Jackson, not Bo Jackson. You have Jim Brown, Barry Sanders, Emmitt Smith, and, Walter Payton, give or take. Those are like those top 4 to 5 guys that people think are the best running backs of all time. But I told him in my lifetime, I'm only 21 years old, and I've only been able to consume football at a efficient rate for the last 3 years. Well, just at a high intellect, but I played Madden. I watched Todd Gurley a little bit, and these two names just popped up to me. I said, dude, Todd Gurley and Derrick Henry in my lifetime, and maybe throw Christian McCaffrey in there, are like the best running backs I've ever saw. So when I watched Bijan Robinson on Monday night and I saw the long run that he had for 81 yards and how he's able to catch the ball at the backfield, he is your multi-type back. I think he is a better version of Christian McCaffrey. And don't get me wrong, Christian McCaffrey is absolutely phenomenal. I'm not taking nothing away from Christian McCaffrey. But when you watch Bijan Robinson, he's faster than Christian McCaffrey. He's quicker than Christian McCaffrey. He is more athletic than Christian McCaffrey, even though Christian McCaffrey is athletic. And of course, he has that home run speed that Christian McCaffrey does not have. And I want to go back to like 2017 and like Christian McCaffrey's prime years with the Carolina Panthers and see if he actually had that home run speed. Again, 2017, before I started studying football to a T. But I would love to go back, and now that I'm making these comments, go see like how his home run speed was in compared to Bijan Robinson. Because right now, every time I've been able to watch Bijan Robinson, he absolutely pops up off of my screen. He has the argument to be the best running back in the league right now. I know Saquon ran for 2,000 yards last year. Saquon is having a down year. Who else can you think of? The rushing leaders right now are, from the top of my head, I want to say Kyren Williams is in there, James Cook, Javonte Williams. I'm missing one who's like leading the league right now in rushing. I know Bijan's in there, and I'm missing one name. I think he's leading the league right now in rushing. Anyways, I can't think of the name. But I was about to say, guys, you know where I'm trying to get to. Bijan Robinson is absolutely elite. He has the argument right now to be the best running back in the league. I think he is that good. I think very highly of Bijan Robinson. And as you can tell in my lower third, I have it called To Infinity and Bijan. Shout out to my cousin. He had this name as his fantasy team like last year, and I just had to steal it. It's the first thing that came into mind. I was like, you know what? I'm going to call this segment To Infinity and Bijan in my lower thirds. But Bijan Robinson, he had 19 carries for 170 yards. He averaged 8.9, nearly 9 yards, pretty much 9 yards a carry. That is absolutely crazy in an NFL game. And it feels like every time Bijan Robinson gets the ball, he's going to hit his head on the goalpost. That's how great Bijan Robinson is. And they have a great 1-2 combo with Tyler Algier. And he's able to get the ball and make some plays in the backfield as well. He's your multi-type back where he can catch it in the backfield and he can get the ball handed off to him. The thing that just might kill the Falcons in the future is going to be Michael Penix. We've seen in these games that Michael Penix, he's still trying to get his legs up under him as the quarterback and the leader of the franchise, because the team is pretty set up. You know, there's probably more pieces that you can get in the future, but I think Atlanta's got a pretty set team, and I'm sure Arthur Blank and leadership and ownership and the GMs and everybody involved with the franchise and over there in Atlanta, they are thinking that Michael Penix is their guy. I don't absolutely love Michael Penix. He's not athletic enough with his legs. He throws absolutely phenomenal football. I'm not dismissing that. I've never been truly in love with Michael Penix. He's kind of reminds me of Bo Nix in the sense that when he's on, he's on. But when he is off, he is off. And we saw that a couple weeks ago in Carolina when the Atlanta got absolutely smacked. Y'all know my term, absolutely smacked. 0-30 in Carolina, and he got benched, and Kirk Cousins came in for him. But I think Michael Penix can be good. I think he has the ability to make this team and get them in the playoffs. I think last year, they were one game out of not making the playoffs last year. I just don't think Michael Penix is going to be the quarterback to get them to that NFC championship game like Jayden Daniels did last year. You know, and his health is another concern for me. All the previous his injury history. So how long is he going to be able to make it in this league? That's the type of things that are pretty much hindering the Atlanta Falcons from getting to the big game and being a championship contender. And let's get to the defense. Just to highlight them quickly. They absolutely got to Josh Allen. I love their pass rush. They're pretty much getting their return on investment when it comes to James Pierce Jr. He is literally, every time I see the Falcons, he is jumping off my screen. I don't know why his stock was dropping, a lot of off-the-field issues when he was coming out of the draft. But, man, seeing that kid, he's been absolutely balling. And I think overall, how many sacks did they have? I think it was 4. Yeah, they had 4 sacks. James Pierce Jr., I think he had him one. No, he actually didn't. But I think James Pierce made his presence felt. It don't show up on the stat sheet, but I promise you, he had 1 tackle for loss. James Pierce Jr. was out there making plays, and I love I think their defense right now is ranked in like top 5 in a multitude of categories. So I think this defense, led by Jesse Bates' safety, I think what was that rookie Jalen Walker from Georgia? They got him as well. They have some pieces, and AJ Terrell is, he's an All-Pro corner over there. I think he made an All-Pro, but I know he was definitely a Pro Bowler. So they got a team. It's just I think they're good, and I think they will. They can make some noise in the NFC South. That little thing. I think when they play Tampa Bay again, they have the opportunity to beat them. And Tampa Bay is a little banged up now, so we'll see how Tampa Bay is going to continue to play under Baker Mayfield, who is having a phenomenal season. He is definitely the MVP so far this season. So far, but I like the Falcons. Now let's get to the Bills. Are the Bills' Super Bowl hopes in jeopardy? I want to say yes. Number one, the Bills had a great opportunity going into their bye week to be 5-1 at worst, but 6-0. One can surmise they really had no reason dropping the game that they did to New England, and they definitely should. They probably should have lost this game against the Atlanta Falcons. Now, Atlanta's coming off of a bye. Maybe we'll give this one a little bit of a pass. But they definitely shouldn't have lost last week to New England. And we see how well the Chiefs have been playing the last couple of weeks. And we know they're fixing to get Rashee Rice back. And we know they're going to have something to say about it. The Bills really had the chance to let this be the year. The Chiefs are not playing good ball. We have an opportunity to get a first round, be the first overall seed, and get that first round bye. And we are set up more prime. You're going to have to go through Buffalo and is it Highland Park or whatever it's called? The final season in their stadium, because they're fixing to get ready to go to a new stadium next year. And you have a chance to make a run in the Super Bowl. All of that has pretty much been compromised because now the New England Patriots are the division leaders in your division. So now you have an uphill climb to achieve that goal that you're setting there. Now, my problem with the Bills right now, as presently constructed, they do not have a guy on the outside that teams on defenses fear. I like Keon Coleman. I love them coming out of the draft. I really think that he can possibly emerge in the future as a number one option, maybe. But it's going to take a little bit more time. If I'm not mistaken, this is his second year, if I'm 100% certain. I want to say it is. So he's going into his second season, and he's still trying to make his way. But if you pair another worthy target with Keon Coleman, you have yourself an offense. And they had that last year when Amari Cooper came in, but Amari Cooper, he had his little small stint there. But I really think that they are missing a weapon on the outside. I like Khalil Shakir. He's your slot guy. He's not a guy that you can count on as your number one or number two. And obviously you have Dalton Kincaid, which he did not play on Monday night. And then you have Dawson Knox. So you have a good 1-2 tight end combo. But the way Josh Allen wants to play and the way the offense really revolves around Josh Allen, I think Josh Allen wants to be able to have a wide receiver security blanket. That is a surefire number one. That is something that I think they need to go out and get in the trade deadline because they need it bad. And we saw it in this game where Josh Allen, he felt like Josh Allen of old to where he was pressing and having to feel like he made all the plays. And I know a lot of people are saying, oh, is the roller coaster back, blah, blah, blah. I don't think so. But I don't have no crazy graphic. I know first things first and everybody, they have people that make them graphics for them. I don't have no fancy graphic to show you the numbers, but Josh Allen threw 2 interceptions yesterday. Well, Monday, which the first one, it was a little bogus, end of the game, whatever, the game was over. But he was 15 for 26, 180 yards. He, not a lot, 6.9 average yards per pass, and he had a passer rating of 72 and a quarterback rating of 18. Josh Allen did not have a good game. And when we see the box score, he barely targeted any of his receivers. Khalil Shakir had 5 targets at the most, alongside Tyrell Shavers. I don't even know who that is. They need another weapon. I would get on the phone with Dallas and maybe see if they would shop George Pickens, because we've seen what he's been able to do. He can be a surefire number one. Maybe a lot of people's throwing around the name Chris Olave. That's a pretty good name as well, but that's something they need to do. They had a lot of offensive miscues, fumbling the ball. I think the Bills are fine. They just missed on a huge opportunity to possibly get the number one seed and just, feel like Josh Allen and the Bills feel like they are in prime position to get the 1 seed in the first round bye. But now Josh Allen may feel like, and may result to coming out of the bye, that he may be having to play hero ball. And we see they are able to run the ball efficiently, but it feels like they're having to play shootouts because defensively, they're not that good. This defense has been a step down to what they've had the last couple of years. Micah Hyde's not there anymore. I think Jordan Poyer is still on the team. I think he came back this year, if I'm 100% certain. Yes, Jordan Poyer is back on the team. Ed Oliver has been hurt. It's his first game back. Matt Milano is not there. One of their best linebackers, he was wearing Terrell Bernard. He got hurt in the middle of the game. So their team is a little decimated by injuries defensively. And I think their rookie cornerback that they drafted in the first round from Kentucky, he has not even played yet. So they got help on the way. But I don't love the defense. And I think they could be a reason that would keep them away the Bills away from winning the Super Bowl. Because I see an offense like Kansas City absolutely blowing this defense up. Absolutely. And we're going to see it in the future because I think Buffalo, is it their first game? Okay. Their second game coming out of the bye is against Kansas City on November 2nd. That is going to be a huge test at Kansas City. It's going to be pretty much a litmus test to really see where the Bills think they are at. Because defensively, the Chiefs are going to have their full slate on offense. So are the Bills defensively going to be able to keep up with that big offense? Because we know that is a potential opponent that they are going to face in the AFC come playoff time. That is going to be a huge litmus test. And I don't exactly know when the trade deadline is. I want to say it's around the second week of November. But once that game happens, and I think at the end of the day, the Bills are going to be on the phone making some calls, making some trades, either at the wide receiver position or somewhere on the defensive side of the ball. But it was a good game to watch, and I had a whole lot of fun watching it. And that's pretty much all I want to say about that.